This is exactly right.
All right, Scott, you ready?
Oh, yes, I am ready to laugh and laugh and laugh.
This is maybe one of my favorite stories ever.
Okay.
Ever. Here it is.
Saying a lot.
The man who learned he could suck water up into his anus and turned it into a career.
It really is the back half of that sentence that brings it all together. All right, well, let's learn about career choices on this episode of Bananas.
But you better believe that it ain't news.
Folks, welcome to Bananas. That's Scotty Landis.
That's Kurt Brownohler. We're doing this one live and in person for the first time since our second episode.
The first time since. That is crazy.
It
also,
is crazy.
That cover of the Bananas theme song was done by the Pom Poms.
Mm-hmm. Jessie Payo.
She's fantastic and wonderful, a great musician, and made a really great cover, I thought.
Probably a future guest on Bananas podcast, I would say.
That's a great idea.
Probably a future guest.
So,
anyways,
before we bring on our very, very special guest, we have a very, very big announcement.
Mm-hmm.
We have been talking about it since we began this podcast, Scotty.
Mm-hmm. We've wanted to do this the entire time.
Bananas is going on tour.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
We're doing a mini tour.
We're doing a little mini tour. Starting off, we're going to go to Connecticut.
Heard of it.
Space Ballroom, Hamden, Connecticut, October 23rd.
Cannot wait.
That's the first one. October 28th, back in Los Angeles.
Yes, we are.
At the Dynasty Typewriter.
Probably a Halloween episode. And
live streamed as well for people who are not in Los Angeles.
That's right.
Then we've got November 11th and 12th, Indianapolis, White Rabbit Cabaret.
The heartbeat of America.
Then October. No, that's in November.
We know our dates.
I know our dates. Yeah, November 11th, November 12th, Indianapolis and Fort Wayne. And then finally ending November 18th at the Bell House in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's going to be the best.
It's all locked down. Go to the Instagram for tickets. It's all in our link, or just go to Linktree/Bananas
Probably.
Podcast.
We're coming for you, America, so get ready.
Get ready. All right, you want to bring our guest on?
The most special guest.
The most special guest, probably. Oh, she was our first guest.
Yes.
First guest before the Great Choir began.
Yeah.
And since then, she started listening to Bananas every once in a while, maybe one or two episodes. But she definitely bought a Best in the Biz shirt.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
She really wants to talk, but we haven't said her name yet. She is she's a world-class comedian.
Powerhouse.
She's a blockbusting actor. You can see her in the new season of What We Do in the Shadows that just came out, as well as the fantastic Disney show, The Mysterious Benedict Society. Please, welcome to the show,
Kristen Schaal.
Thank you so much for having me.
We
left out Bob's Burgers.
Oh, well, and always on Bob's Burgers for the past 12 years.
Yeah.
Has it been 12 years?
Season 13 we're making.
Incredible.
That's
incredible.
The Mysterious Benedict Society is so good.
You're watching it?
Yes, I am. It is amazing. And also, you are
that warms my heart.
You're doing some you're doing some acting chops there.
Oh, yeah? Thanks for noticing. Oh, that's really sweet. Thanks, Kurt. That means a lot that you watch the show. That's
I think
nice.
It's really special. It's a really special show.
I get choked up.
Yeah.
Friends who support each other. Now I feel bad I didn't fly to Denver to see your stand-up.
You should have. It was great. It was a huge hit. People loved it.
Yeah, people loved it.
I'm excited for people to see it.
Yeah,
It'll
it's gonna be so
out
good.
someday.
Are you guys requiring vaccinations
At the shows, we
Yeah.
sure are.
Okay.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
we're
just didn't
requiring-
get mentioned.
Oh, yeah,
but
sorry. We're requiring vaccinations or proof negative COVID test at the shows.
That's great.
Yeah.
Live the dream, guys. Come on out.
Yeah.
You can come within 6 feet, but not within 2 feet. Come on in. So, how are you?
Really good. I'm really excited to be here with the two of you.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wanted to be with you guys in person because you're my best friends and
That's
I missed
right.
you.
And
That's right.
We got out of the house. We got to get out of the house.
Yeah,
We're in Scotty's office.
Scotty has an office.
Scotty has an office that maybe it looks like he's either an evil genius
Yes.
or a record producer
Yeah.
in 1985.
Yep. That's exactly right.
It's got this
It's
crazy
very Tommy Mottola-esque, yes.
double staircases that wind up to almost like a. Oh, you know what it reminds me of, Kristen?
What?
The Delta terminal, or no, the Pan Am terminal at JFK. Was it
Yeah.
Pan Am?
I don't know what you're talking
Pan
about,
Am
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't exist, but
It was TWA.
Yeah, it was
maybe.
TWA.
The
Yeah.
TWA terminal at
Yeah.
JFK. It was like built in the 60s. It was like that idea of the future rocket ships in the 60s kind of
Yes.
style.
Yes.
That's what this place reminds me
yeah, we're in a
of.
very cool loft space for Scotty to spread his wings as a writer
Yep,
and
trying to make
fly
it.
some stories into our
Hearts. Yeah, it's true. And you guys are my first guests. Yeah, I haven't had anybody over yet because of the great choir, but I think we can record here anytime.
Did
we
you
want.
get someone to design the
No.
Because these chairs match the couch.
Yes.
So Scotty's dining room
He's got
chairs
he's got
have like a
eyes.
Moroccan color kind of theme that's popping, and he's pulled it all together.
I thought you would like it because when we all moved out to LA around the same time, you got your car. You told me because it was red, and you
Yes.
wanted, and I was like, "Yes, that's exactly what." And so when I was getting this and putting it all together, I was like, "Kristen's gonna like it in here."
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, because it's all like
I
bright
like
primary
I like
colors.
bright popping colors,
Yeah.
and they a lot of people shy away from them because they don't think it's sophisticated.
Thank you,
But I disagree.
thank you even
I
more.
think, yeah, I think it means you're confident.
Yeah, I agree with you as well.
I yell, "I'm confident" all the time. It's the best. It's the best way to let people know that you are. Hello.
Feeling okay about myself when I walk into a party.
That's just how we live.
Do you want to hear about this guy? Kristen,
Yes.
I
Yeah,
think
the
this
anal
is like,
the squirter.
it's right up your alley, Kristen,
really
so
is.
much.
Career and entertainment. There are a lot of different
Yeah.
paths you can take. You know.
100%. People don't realize that, or maybe
That's-
they do now because there's so many influencers.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
This guy was the first influencer. So this was sent in by Colleen Trapp on Instagram. Thank you, Colleen.
Thank you, Colleen.
Kind. Is that trap with 2 P's or
It
one?
is with 2 P's. Thank you, Kristen.
You're welcome.
This, again, the title, The Man Who Learned He Could Suck Water Up into His Anus and Turned It Into a Career. This was this is on IFL Science.
Oh yeah, Kurt's
Wait,
favorite.
What?
Is that a legitimate scientific
It is,
publication?
actually.
Yeah, we have
Okay.
a lot of things from IFL Science. They do a good job of like citing all of their sources and stuff
Okay,
like that.
so this isn't like an Inquirer.
No.
Everything that comes to the Bananas podcast is legit.
Except for once,
We got duped once.
I got duped once by the CBC, the CBC Canadian Broadcast Corporation. You used to have a satirical Onion type show,
Yes.
but it was on the CBC website. So I assumed since it was the CBC website, it was real. It was not. It was a very funny article about a man who was trapped on
A drop tower at an amusement park for 48 hours.
and he went up and down 20,000 times.
Good. That would have been good.
We have no regrets.
I was
We
like-
did it. We left
Yeah.
it on.
I was
But we got
crying.
duped only a once so
Only
far.
a once.
Well, thank you for your transparency.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
We tried it. We tried. It would be no fun if we only did fake stories, or if we ever did fake stories.
True.
Well, yeah, but some of these stories that you guys do are so out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the one where it was raining, that weird
The
rain.
blobs.
Yeah, the blob rain.
The Oakville
That
blobs,
was real,
right?
I
Yeah.
guess.
we should go up there too. We should all go up. We should do a friend trip and see the blob.
Oh, yeah.
Blob Fest.
People don't
Yeah.
even remember it anymore. up
Thank
there.
you.
So, this is amazing. This is not. There's no credit for this.
Well, that's suspicious.
But I'm gonna read. Well, it's like IFL Science staff
It's a bunch of scientists and lab coats just walking around.
going. I
Something.
fucking love science. I fucking love science.
I'm confident.
I don't need to put my name on it.
I mean, I don't want to put my name on this. All right, here we go. In Spider-Man, a young Peter Parker is given superpowers by a radioactive spider bite, decides to fight crime. Okay. Blah, 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 blah,
yeah,
blah.
Sure.
We get it.
Yeah, that's a very famous franchise.
In 19th century France.
Yes, sir.
19th century France. A young Joseph...
I'm sorry, 19th century. So is that, we're talking...
1800s.
Why do they do that?
I don't
No
know.
idea.
I don't know.
Can we just fix it?
I know,
Yes.
we should have fixed it a long time ago. This should be the 20th century right now, but instead it's the 21st century. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the people in the first century don't care if they were the non-century. Do you know what I mean?
Having a 1-year-old. So when I say, well, when you were 1, you did this for Halloween, but when you were 0-ishes, you did this.
Yeah.
So that's sort of what we're dealing
Yes.
with.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, it's just the fact that there's the first century. Like year 1 was in the first century, apparently. You know?
To them, maybe. They're all dead. Screw them.
Exactly. They don't care. Let's fix it. Here we go. 19th century France. A young Joseph Pujol was taking a swim when he realized he could inhale vast volumes of water through his anus.
Okay.
Eventually deciding to turn it into a hit stage show at the Moulin Rouge under the name Le Pitoman, the Fartomaniac. Okay.
Whoa.
Which, first of all, this is a sketch by Mr. Show. From the
this
original
is
Mr.
good.
Show sketch.
Yeah, this is brilliant.
Pujol, born in 1857, was on holiday when he discovered his superpower, still in school at the age of 10, which turned out to be a complete waste of time given his eventual career.
I guess so.
He was holding his breath underwater when he felt the strange, cold sensation of a large volume of ocean water shooting up into his rectum.
Wow.
When he understandably fled the water, he noticed the liquid leaking out. The boy mentioned the incident to his family doctor, who laughed and dismissed his gift, telling him it was nothing to be concerned about, or rather contact the Avengers. For a time, Joseph forgot his skill. Of course, this is a beautiful story.
Yes, of course.
Years later, however, after recounting the anecdote to his friends in the French army, he decided to try it once more.
So they just didn't go swimming a lot back then, I guess.
I guess not, right?
He went for one dip.
He went for one.
And then 10 years
He
went
took
by before
one
he
bath.
decided to go.
And then talked about it to his army buddies,
Yeah.
which is totally normal.
I went swimming once.
I went swimming. You know how when you're swimming and your entire asshole fills up with water, and everyone's like, "No, we don't, Pujol."
Tell us more.
And his name is Pujol.
Pujol.
With his friends gathered around, presumably resigned to the fact that the dinner party didn't quite have the original classy tone they had intended. I mean, you should put your name on it if you're going to be the best in the biz here.
Agreed.
Pujol placed his anus below the surface of some water and sucked hard. Amazingly, he could still do it. With further training, he discovered he could suck up about 2 liters of water and roughly the same volume of air in one go by bending over and covering his nose and mouth, then contracting his diaphragm.
Wow.
This increased the volume of his abdomen and pulled in air, much the same way your lungs do. A few training montages later, he could also vary the volume and pitch of his farts.
There you go.
Do impressions of other people's farts.
Oh, that's what it's about.
This is what it's about. Play the flute from behind and blow smoke rings out of his anus and mouth at the same time.
I would pay to see this. All of it.
Are you kidding me?
What a grand finale.
I'm sorry that I'm reading so much, but we have to know more.
I would say never
I'm
stop.
like already want to crawl up inside that anus and take a little nap.
I know, right?
Joke.
And here's something good if you were going to do that. His farts were also apparently odorless.
I'm sure because he's giving himself enemas every day.
Yeah.
The next part of this sentence, perhaps due to Pujol giving himself 5 enemas a day.
Guys, I have not read this article.
She wrote it. We picked
I
this for
love
you.
Spider-Man.
When I think Shaw, I think Spider-Man.
A 2013 paper in the journal French Cultural Studies explained, quote, the air he expelled and used his sphincter muscles to make vibrate, much as we do with our vocal cords when we speak and sing, was fresh air he had anally, quote, breathed in.
Yeah, they don't have a word for that.
No,
because
we
it's
do
not
not.
breathing. It's not inhaling.
Yeah, although we
should create one.
We have gotten a lot of stories about the fact that apparently we can breathe through our buttholes.
Tell me more.
Well, that's a different story. We got to stick with Pujol.
It can osmosize through the intestines.
I mean, some of those words.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah. So naturally, Pujol's eyes lit up with dollar signs, and he decided to take his show on the road.
Yes.
Before long, he secured an audition at the Moulin Rouge, where he nervously sucked up water and cleaned out his moneymaker before playing tunes to the owner, who hired him immediately.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Okay.
You give him the keys. You say, "Lock up when you're done, bud."
Yeah.
What else can you do?
Yeah. This is your show.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's the Moulin Rouge now.
Yeah.
You may picture
We
Paris.
don't ever have to see your face.
You may picture Paris as a pretty sophisticated place, but people went absolutely crazy for a man on stage squeaking out La Marseillaise from his butthole. He became the highest paid performer in the whole of France, and for a time things were good. But
Wait,
then
no, come on. What could go wrong?
he threw it all away by doing something the Moulin Rouge could not tolerate.
What?
Let me guess. Did he spray diarrhea as far as he could make it go?
Yes. I would not tolerate that myself.
I would not tolerate that. No, it's much more. It's much more typical, and we still see things happening like this
Did he
today.
put a squirrel in his butthole and shoot it out and it bit someone's face?
Something so much more boring and pedestrian.
Oh, he punched somebody
No.
with his butt.
Did he call someone a bad word?
No. Would you like me to tell
He
you?
was homosexual.
I know it's
No.
not sexual harassment because
Nope.
they didn't. Everyone put up with
Yeah,
that
back
then.
France in the 1800s, please.
It's even more just boring and litigious.
Oh, I love this. He stole some money.
He ate a crouton with his mouth open.
No.
It's more litigious.
Mm-hmm.
Did he just not show up for work for a few days in a row?
No, but close to that boring.
Oh, God.
Close to that boring.
He
He only did half of his routine.
Nope.
faked it.
Nope.
Oh, this was a hoax.
He blocked someone from getting hired that could fart out of their nipples.
No.
He stole money.
No.
Okay, I give up.
Yeah, that's great. He
Passing gas on his own time. Joseph attempted to drum up business for his friend's gingerbread stand
Okay.
by farting tunes to draw in the crowd,
Okay.
which the club saw as a breach of contract.
Sure.
Essentially, they argued that he was only allowed to pass gas within the confines of the club. You assholes. He is an artist.
That is ridiculous because someone at the gingerbread thing that was amazing. Where do I go see it?
Exactly, right?
Dum-dum.
People don't understand free advertising when they see it. The
Not
legal
anymore.
disputes led to the end of his performances at the Moulin Rouge, and he set up his own club
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good.
where
Okay,
he
good.
didn't earn quite as much.
Why? Why not? Because people came for more than just
He
farts.
was replaced by the Moulin Rouge with another fart act,
Shut.
Oh,
La
my.
Femme Pentomane, who was later revealed to have merely been pretending to fart, using a set of bellows concealed under her skirt.
Oh, come on.
Pujol,
This is a good movie.
this is a good
I'm looking
movie.
at you two right now.
I know.
I can see. Work on
Oh
your
my
French
God.
accents.
Oh my God!
This is a great movie. Write this movie so we can do it because I
I would
have
write
been doing
this.
a French accent. I
I
learned
can
how
do
to talk
French.
to French.
You want me to do French? I do
Put
French.
the R in the back of your throat.
Yeah, I would write this movie.
Pentomane?
Well, yes.
I'll write this movie for you too.
I
Absolutely.
mean,
What an
Scotty can
honor.
write this movie in 4 days.
Yeah,
in
as soon
this
as I-
loft.
That's how.
Yeah.
Like, that's how he rolls.
Yeah.
I would love to do this, and this can
Yes.
be a love story.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this would be so good. What we could make this movie with maybe $10,000. We could go fund this movie on your bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
Well, it's an excuse to go to Paris. That's for sure.
We could shoot it in Montreal. We can get
Oh.
the Canadian tax break.
Better.
Right?
Better.
Yeah. Because why go to Paris when you can go to Montreal?
I would rather go to Paris, but they just sorry. But I don't. Okay, sorry. Go on.
I mean, let's be real. If we-
Everyone is canceling their bananas.
I love
podcast.
Montreal. I
Hey,
love
will
Montreal.
you write that for? You heard it here on Bananas
course I
First. Scotty Landis is writing the farting movie about this person.
I can't believe that it's so. Here's
is great. This is so
Should we
good.
hear the end?
Well, only if he kills himself.
It's interesting. Pujol made a living for decades with his act. before World War I put a stop to things. After the war, his act had gone out of fashion, with some suggesting that it could have been because people viewed gas comedy as in poor taste following extensive war gassings.
Comedy is precious. It's a mirror of society.
That's right. That's right. What's popular today is just not going to be quite the same the next day. But that act would kill right now. If somebody in LA was doing that act, like entire comedic empires would be built on this person.
Let someone fart like tequila in my face, and I would like lap it up.
Yeah, if you're the third person, you know it's disinfected. You just you push the real wild card first, and then you bring your own bottle.
I wonder, do you think that the French fart movie, like, would it get old watching the fart performances over and over again?
Well, I mean, like, think
for
about
an hour and a half.
I mean, like, think about
Boogie
watching
Nights.
The Doors. You only watched The Doors too. Do you know what I mean? The movie The Doors. You only watch them do like 2 or 3 songs throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
So we're only talking about 2 or 3 minutes of farting acts. That's fine.
That's right.
This is our Doors.
Yeah, this would be Back Doors. It's called Back Doors, and it's your story. Yeah, we're doing Le Back Doors.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's great.
I want to go back and watch the Doors movie because I just watched that Val Kilmer
so
documentary.
good. I recommend.
Yeah,
Bananas.
Yeah.
The Val
Bananimals.
Kilmer documentary is very
really good.
interesting.
I think that's great. I think that you could make this movie pretty well for like a $3 million budget.
Yeah.
I think it's.
I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
Okay.
All right.
Let's put it together.
Very excited about
You want to
this.
write it
Yeah, of
with
course.
Rich?
Sure.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Could think
This
of nothing
perfect.
more.
That would be.
I mean, it's
so
a truly
fun.
like it's truly
so
a good
good.
idea.
I'm sort of scared if you put this out, someone of the listeners is going to take
I
it.
think we can ask all the Bananimals to please protect our intellectual property rights to this historical
But now, what about
information.
For Back
what about
Doors.
Trap?
What
Miss
about-
Trap? She's the one who found it.
Colleen Trapp is, I think, going to be happy if we write
We'll
it.
give
think
her
she'll
an
get a lawyer.
extra. We'll give her a non-speaking role
Yeah,
right in the
she's in
front
it.
row. She will faint at the first show.
Yes.
Or they will faint at the first show is when the first squeak comes out,
Yeah.
and they'll wheel them out, and then somebody outside that works for like Le Parisien will be like, "What's going on in there?" And then suddenly, you're going to be printing money with
Oh my
that.
God, I'm
Oscar.
ready.
What is? Sorry.
Okay,
so
question.
What is the tone of the movie?
I think the tone of the movie.
It shouldn't be
The
broad. Am I
Prestige.
right?
It shouldn't be broad. I don't think.
But it's funnier if it isn't broad.
Yes, no, it should be
course.
kind of. It should be kind of serious.
I think it's great if
Is
it's
it-
serious because especially like it's based on a true story. Do we have to get rights from the estate?
Not that old.
Don't think so.
Not-
1857.
I think we are.
Also, they refused to allow
But
an
we could.
autopsy on him because they didn't want his secret,
The
his
family. That's
after
what I
he
mean.
died.
It might be like Roald Dahl's family. Mm-hmm. There's a reason there hasn't been a fart movie made.
Yeah, we're looking into it. We'll get there. If not, we'll do composite characters and put
Yeah.
it in Madrid. You guys could pass this to Spanish.
Okay, let me get my Spain accent knows.
No, I think it should be very serious and like quirky and strange.
Yes.
Yeah, but also it's going to be eventually funny.
It could be like Frank.
Oh, like Frank.
A little
That's
bit like
interesting.
Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cross between Frank and American Pickle, maybe.
I haven't seen American
Oh,
Pickle.
you should see it.
I know.
It's pretty funny. But
yeah.
Anyway, Scotty, can you
God,
just
this
tease
is
us?
such an exciting day.
We're having a great time.
Yeah, can you tease us out to a break?
Yes. How about this one? And this
Okay.
this is old school banana stuff. I heard about this story in 2007.
Okay.
But we'll talk about it because I think we're all going to have a little something to do with it. A decade after a secret apartment was found inside a Providence mall, the artist Michael Townsend is still banned.
All right, I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with more.
Bananas.
What a great article.
Yeah.
How do you guys not
Get
the
that
movie
to your mic.
all the
Keep it up.
Oh, I thought we were on break. We were live.
We're live to tape. Great podcast by Johnny Pemberton.
I don't
live
do
to
very
tape.
many podcasts. That would be so fun. That could be really funny.
Yeah.
I agree.
So French.
We're back, folks.
Hey, guys.
Listen, if you haven't yet, go follow us on Instagram, The Bananas Podcast. Send us your strange news stories.
Please do.
Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. You can do that really easily at ratebananas.com.
Yep.
RATE bananas.com. You got any shout-outs before I got this one? I got one.
Just one. I was at Club TG the other night. You know
Club
that bar
TG.
in Atwater? It's the oldest bar in Atwater Village.
We should think about it for Hot Tub. It's got a
great.
good,
It's got a great little side
Is Virgil
room.
really done?
I don't know.
I hear it's for sale.
Well, let's buy it. Not me.
Let's buy it. Do you have 24 million?
By the time this fart movie comes out, we'll be just buying real estate left and right.
Quentin Tarantino saving the Virgil.
Yeah, we're glad about it. But anyways, I went there the other night to meet with a friend, and my first bananimal that said, "Are you Scotty?" And I go, "Yes." I heard my voice. Jen Brown, who is a fan and follows us on Instagram and stuff, and I spoke to her and had a great time. Met her friend who did not want to be mentioned on the podcast.
Okay.
But Jen, Club TG's the new roost, Kristen. Club TG's the new roost.
That's awesome. Oh, can I give a shout out?
Yeah, of course.
I just wanted to shout out to my friend Liz Banks.
Love Liz Banks.
She's a big bananimal person. Listens to every episode.
Love Liz Banks.
Listen
Love
to
Liz
an
Banks.
episode with Liz Banks. She's the best in the biz.
She is the best in the biz.
Oh, that is
And
wonderful.
you know what? Liz Banks can be
shouting
Banana
out.
of the
She
Week.
might hear it. She
Yeah.
might hear it, which is
will.
Banana of the Week.
crazy time.
Yeah.
Okay. This is my shout-out. You ready?
Yes, sir.
So, DM Instagram handle Rixie Business
Okay.
has been sending us fake names for months. I mean, not fake names, like crazy names.
Yeah, real
and I just would
weird
just see
names.
them every once in a while, and I'd be like, this guy just loves to
Yeah.
make up weird names and send them to
He
us.
knows I love weird
and
names.
Are
then
you sure it's not Carl Bennett?
no, it's not. But then I realized at some point that he is a mail carrier.
Yes.
And they are all real names. And now, of course, I'm trying to get it, and I can't get this up here.
Mm-hmm.
He said, and I was at some point I was like, wait a second, because he sent me a piece of mail, like he had like marked out everything other than the person's name. The person's name was insane.
Anonymous, yeah. We're not doxing anybody on Bananas.
Not getting doxxed, but these are all real names of people that he has delivered mail to. So these are all real names. Bilge Stelpy, Chad Sprankle. But these are all real. Sal Palafox,
Great name.
Yumi Billings,
Good name.
Jorg Mollenhoff, Colt Champion, and then he sent us Colt Champion like it's actually a real name.
That's a good name.
And then when he sent Colt Champion, I was like, shit, I missed the part where these are all real names. Can we say some of these on the pods? He's like, that's what I've been hoping for.
Yeah. I love names. Oh.
It's so great. And then he said, here's the rules. Just a couple things. 1, all names are spelled correctly. 2, no names have been made up. 3, Firkin Top and Bill Jesseltep occupy the same house. So I will look up more, and on another episode of Bananas, we'll get even more. Edwin Denby, Ink Winchers, and Connor Disco. He's been sending them to us for months.
Oh, I love that.
And I just had no idea that they were actually real. But anyway, thanks, Rixie Business.
Yes, thank you so much. And he understood that we get bombarded on DMs. We get, 10 every 5 minutes or so. And so he switched us over to the Bananas podcast at gmail.com, and we appreciate you appreciating our time. Okay, let me tell you about this story. We're here with the great and powerful and mighty Kristen Schaal.
An old friend.
An old friend.
The oldest of friends.
This is the
20-year-old
triple threat
friend.
trio.
Really is.
We were all losers together. Now we're medium losers together.
Losers.
Now we can at least go to the grocery store without checking our ATM receipt. And that's basically all we can claim.
Yep.
Okay, so this is two stories. There's one more recent, but I'm going to talk about the original one just in case you've never heard of this. So this was originally sourced Associated Press from 2002, but this was sent in by Miss_Umbra, who I think has sent in stuff before. Thank you, Miss Umbra. And so the leader of an artists cooperative has been sentenced to probation for setting up a secret apartment inside a shopping mall's parking garage as part of a project on mall life. So this is from 2007. Okay. Michael Townsend, who's then 36, said he and 7 other artists built a 750-square-foot apartment in 2003 and lived there for 3 weeks at a time for 4 years.
What?
Yeah, they were living in the mall. It's crazy.
What part? Where was it built?
It's a great question. And there's photos. Yeah, and there's another podcast did like a whole story about this, and I'll give that. I'll give them a shout out when I get to the end of this. But so basically, there was a cinder block wall with a nondescript utility door that kept this loft hidden from the outside world.
Wow.
So there's basically a crawl space behind an I-beam in a parking garage that was connected inside the mall. So it was just dead space.
Wow.
So they discover it. But inside the apartment was a fully furnished, down to a hutch filled with china, a Sony PlayStation 2, there was no running water, but they used them all bathrooms, so they always had them all. And then on the website, he said he was inspired by a Christmas time ad for the mall that said, quote, in an enthusiastic female voice talking about the mall, how great it would be to live at the mall. It's that fun. So he built his dwelling out of compassion to understand the mall more and life as a shopper. Towson said he had plans to make the apartment super sweet with laminated wood flooring and other perks, but it fell apart when they were busted, so they eventually got caught. So,
after 4 years of living there?
Yes.
Wow.
And hanging out there's photos. I mean, it's really well documented, but it was basically like an art project to live inside this building where nobody found them.
I love it.
And so the updated version is by Kate Mulvaney. This was what was sent in by Miss Umbra, and this was in the Providence Journal. So...
wait, it's in Providence, Rhode Island?
Yeah.
It's that fucking mall in Providence, Rhode Island?
I think so. It's called Providence Place.
Yeah, the one that's downtown. Yeah.
It's carpeted, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird for a mall. For a mall, right? But yeah, they're not doing, all the artists that live there haven't had a grand reunion, but everybody's doing well. That's the updated thing. But they made headlines because the 750 square foot apartment in the belly of the mall beneath an I-beam, that nobody really remembered it was even there. Like, there was just not even on like the schematics or whatever, but it had a sectional sofa, a love seat, a coffee table, a breakfast table, 4 chairs, lamps, a throw rug, a hutch with china, paintings on the walls, and they had bold plans to add plumbing and install those wood floors. It's the only thing they lacked was running water and a toilet. But they held meetings, lived there, slept there, drank there, watched TV, played games. It was basically they just lived for free for 4 years inside of a mall.
I love it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's the best.
It's the best. It's a dream. It's the dream. It's every child's dream.
Yes.
To climb underneath one of those racks of clothing and then find an apartment and stay there forever.
Yes. It's crazy because mall culture doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
The big online shopping is completely, but like that era, and like 2007 really is kind of that edge where like Amazon really started taking over the world and stuff. But like the 80s and 90s, and it's obviously in every mall and TV show, the mall was like a true destination that felt like you were on another planet. It was like special, and these guys just capitalized.
I just recently with Olive, we're trying to get her a COVID test because she's about to start preschool, and so I was like searching for the place where I made the appointment. Turns out it was like in a van in the parking lot of this mall, but it was an old.
Take your daughters.
But it was in this, I was walking around this mall where like half the shops are shut down.
Yeah.
And Olive, who is 4 years old, walking hand with my hand, she goes, "You know, Papa, this is a real weird place." And I was just like, well, honey, when I was a kid, it was very, normal to come to the mall. Now, not so much. So weird things exist here now.
It was amazing. When I was in high school, I used to go to Owings Mills Mall, and it was like the mall to go to. Your parents would drop you off and pick you up 3 hours later. You'd pool your money and like split mozzarella sticks at Ruby Tuesdays. It was like, we're having fun. And you know how in your small town news anchors feel like celebrities? Like when you were a kid, it was like you would watch morning news.
Trujillo.
Exactly. Do you remember yours, Kurt?
No.
There were 2 on...
Because mine were New York.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so they were just like, they were very famous.
Yeah.
Al Roker, that was,
I got you. Well, we had the Don Scott and Marty Bass were the morning drive guys, and they were like, cool. And they were also totally coked up. You could feel it. Well, maybe not Don Scott. So anyways, they, it's like a local celebrity. So I'm in the mall with my friends. I'm with Dan, Jason, and Steve. And we're walking around, goofing off as you do. And we are going down a down escalator from the second floor to the first floor near Macy's, the good end of the mall. And my buddy goes, hey, there's Marty Bass. And Marty Bass looks like he's like bald, like Larry David hairstyle, but like we'll say he was probably late 30s at this time.
And he's a radio DJ.
Morning TV guy. So he was your morning drive guy, where you would watch local weather and sports and all that with Marty Bass and Don Scott. And so Marty Bass is a hilarious name.
It's such a great name.
Your name thing reminded me of this. And we're going down, and so he's coming up the escalator, and it's pretty much empty besides us, and his back's to us. And like two of my friends are like, that's not him. That's not Marty Bass. And then finally, right when we're passing, my buddy Steve goes, hey, Marty Bass. And before he gets Bass out, Marty Bass pivots on his heel, points at us with both finger guns, and goes, I'm the Bassarino. And then goes up past us because he's on the escalator.
Needed that one that day.
That one.
He needed
He's like,
it.
if one person recognizes me at the mall today, I'm going to get this promotion.
And it was so dramatic.
It was all worth it.
We kept going down. He kept going up. So he was like winning in life. I'm the Bassarino. And you're like, cool. And then never saw him again. But every time I think of mall, I think of Marty the Bassarino. Just having a great day.
That was a trend at that time of putting like Eno at the end of things, like Mattarino and stuff like that.
That's right.
That was like a thing. That was like one comedy person did it once.
It's from Saturday Night Live. It was Rob Schneider working at the copy machine.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's right.
I agree. I think that is it.
God, he built a whole career off of it, basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
My mall was called Twin Peaks.
Oh,
Fashion
really?
Mall.
And pretty cool.
It was, Orange Julius, Walden Books.
Wow,
Claire's, or whatever.
Gotta get
was
your
there
earrings,
milk in
ears
Orange
pierced?
Julius?
No, I don't think
always tasted
so.
like milk
Yeah,
to
it's
me.
weird. They were like oranges plus cream. You
Yeah,
love it?
right? Yeah.
Like, and I did.
And you did.
What is that?
But I remember just coming, going through puberty, going to that mall, and I had like a leotard, and one day I put the leotard on, and then jeans, and then like a little button-up shirt buttoned over it.
Yeah, I
adorable.
know that look.
Yeah.
Adorable.
Then 2 boxes of Kleenex tissue where I didn't have boobs.
Stuffed them in.
I just started with a couple, and I couldn't stop.
Yeah, why would you?
Walked around the mall with
Why would you?
2 crumply boobs.
Just paper mache.
Hi, boys.
Yeah, I just wanted to try a new look.
Is this General Tso's chicken sample for free? You are 12.
I was a late bloomer.
Hey, boys, can I keep the toothpick? Please, somewhere else.
Oh, man.
It was the best. It was magic.
It was really magic. I think my first kind of like taste of public performance was at the mall.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Like how Britney Spears got her start and stuff like that. Right?
No, not actually like making like, so this is what we did. So we would always go to the mall, right, in Jersey, and you could smoke in the mall, and we all smoked.
Incredible.
Isn't that crazy?
Incredible.
Isn't it insane? That we're a bunch of 15-year-olds, and we just go to the mall and walk around smoking cigarettes. So crazy.
Hey, you want to go in the Imaginarium? Yeah, why not? Yeah.
I'm gonna put my cigarette out in the hallway before I go into the store.
Amazing.
So crazy. So I had a camera, a video camera.
Yes, sir.
And this was 1993, I believe.
Fun.
And we put it was like the first time I kind of did something like this where it was we were all like, 17. And we put a potato on a stick and then we painted a face on it and then gave him a cigarette.
Funny.
And then lit the cigarette and then went in and then the whole shot, the shot was just the potato on the stick so you couldn't see anyone else.
Inspired by Jim Henson. And
it was inspired by Jim.
Yeah.
So he was Mr. Potato on a stick. And then he would go in and just like talk to people.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what are you doing? I can't even remember what his voice was now.
Probably that.
I think he went into Chess King Chess King was a mall.
Store?
It was a store. No, it was like a cool. It was a cool clothing store called Chess King.
Yeah, nothing cooler than playing chess.
Yeah.
And it was just like thumping music outside, and he went to like he went to Chess King and made fun of the music.
Aww.
You know.
Do you still have those videos?
I do still have those videos.
Oh. Did people respond? Were people happy, or were they like, "Get out of here and stop smoking, you teenagers"?
No. You were allowed to smoke, so people didn't care that the potato was smoking because we were smoking too. So everybody's smoking. And then a security guard, after like an hour of us shooting in the mall, a security guard kicked us out. And so we have that where I'm talking to the security guard it was like essentially our version of Triumph.
Insult Triumph Dog. Yeah. Can you put a clip of it up on the Bananas website?
I would find it.
Podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to figure out how to digitize those tapes because they were literally
different
tapes. That were the size, they were the thickness of a VHS tape, but only this big.
Yeah.
So in order to play it, you'd have to like pop it into another VHS tape size.
That to a company.
I got to get them all digitized. Yeah. But it would probably just be completely obnoxious.
And you were probably nervous. Were you nervous like beforehand?
Yes.
You're like, you think it's anarchy.
You think what you are doing is burning the mall to the ground.
Yeah.
And instead what you're doing is coming like 7 feet in the door and being like, screw you, and then like running away.
There was a thing like that near my mall in this like area, and it was like a development near the mall, and it was called like Thoroughbred Run or whatever, and they had a sign with a horse on it and a fountain underneath, and the big prank you would just dump laundry detergent in the fountain, then run away, and then the foam would cross the whole street, and people would hide like as if they were snipers and assassins, like shooting a world leader, and you'd lay under pine trees with like a thing of all or a thing of Tide, and you're like, "There's no cars in either direction." You'd run over, dump it in, and then just run away. And then like 45 minutes later, you drive by in your piece of crap car and just watch foam covering the entire street.
Wow.
Drive your car through it. It was so fun.
And then there was just one guy just being like, getting out his mop and then having to mop it.
Yeah, just having a hose at the fire department gets called for the third time that week.
The most anarchy I got into was a solo journey where like the day before high school started, I was like, no one talks about this enough, but it's really cool. And I drew for the entry doors. There was this big pavement sidewalk to walk in, and I drew. Yeah. Sorry, I drew the. Kurt just coached me on holding my mic to my mouth.
First time for everything.
Anyways, it was huge. You know, it was like the size of a parking lot to walk up into the high school, and I drew a giant female reproductive system.
Yes.
Like just huge over. I don't know why, but I was like, everyone should see this.
That's awesome. How old are you?
Cool.
And I did it in front of Kmart. Like 15.
You're like, I went well at the high school.
It was with chalk, you guys. Like, it wasn't that.
Everybody needs to see what's going on down there.
Inside of me.
That's so great. I love that. How old are you?
Probably like, 15, 16. Yeah. Stupid.
Sound like a pretty fun kid. You had some good.
But I had to do it alone.
Yes. They sell chalk at Kmart.
What?
They sell chalk at Kmart. You could have drawn as big as you wanted to. What you got for us, Curdy B?
Are you ready for it?
I would love it.
I want to do a little fun one. This one's just going to be fun.
The other two were fun.
Yeah.
Everything's fun with
Here
you
we
guys.
Go.
We always have fun together.
This was sent in by a lot of people.
Great.
This was the original. The original one was sent in by a lot of people, but then this follow-up was sent in by DB_Danger on Instagram. This is from the BBC.
Heard of it?
Paul Taylor's rude name place tour suffers hitch after twat. So this is not written by anyone. It's from August 27th. A man
in the biz.
touring places with rude names on a 50cc moped will complete his journey in a hire car after his engine seized on a remote mountain pass.
Okay.
Paul Taylor from Wantage, Oxfordshire.
Not a rude name place.
Is making the charity fundraising trip, which started in Shitterton, Dorset, in memory of a friend who died of cancer.
There you go.
He reached Twat in Orkney on Wednesday, but broke down the following morning near Carno Mount in Aberdeenshire.
That's fine.
Put a bunch of words together.
That's fine.
His trip so far raised nearly £20,000 pounds for cancer research.
Is it still going?
Yeah, Mr. Taylor said he got really upset after his engine expired. He said, I know it's only a bit of metal, but you get attached to it. We've seen some amazing places this week or so.
You do.
I did 1,200 miles on that thing in a week. It did really well. I did half expect it. I was overworking it, but I got to the point where I thought we were actually going to make it.
Yeah.
So then he calls it his Moronic Moped Marathon. He's going to continue on. He is due to complete his challenge in Bell End, Worcestershire.
Is Bell End rude?
Bell End is a British word meaning dickhead.
Oh,
that makes sense.
We're an educational podcast.
Yeah. So so now I'm going to the original one to get some of the more funny names.
Yes, sir.
The places that he is going to.
Oh, that's what we're here for.
That is what we're here to. He started at Butthole Lane.
We've talked about them before.
He started at Shitterton. He went to Butthole Lane. He got through Dull.
Yep.
And then was going to Twat.
Okay.
Where else?
Always a good time in Twat.
Yes.
Always fun.
Happy Bottom Nature Reserve and Sandy Balls, New Forest Holiday Park.
This guy's got a great sense of humor.
Funny street names on his itinerary included The Knob in King Sutton, Northamptonshire, Butthole Lane in Shepshed, Leicestershire. Jesus Christ, these names are killing me.
Guys.
And Titty Ho in Ron's Northamptonshire.
Wow.
You did well.
Thank you. It really was tough for me.
New Jersey.
You did well.
New Jersey. That's the Moronic Moped Marathon. He's
donate.
A beautiful man.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a GoFundMe? Is there anything? We'll figure it out.
When he goes, so does he show up and then just sort of get a picture next to the sign and then blog it and keep going, and that's his deal?
Yes, exactly. That is his deal. He's doing it for his buddy.
20,000 pounds. It's no joke.
Yeah.
He's doing it for his buddy. His friend Alexis Leventis died of cancer last year, age 55. He wanted to do something to, quote, to help beat this awful disease, and believe the trip was a, quote, suitably ridiculous place to start.
I love this.
Yeah,
it's right
gorgeous.
up our alley.
This is
a 50cc moped.
There's a movie.
Yeah.
That's another movie.
That's just thinking in movies, folks.
See, these stories are just so beautiful that you guys tell on your bananas.
Yeah, that would be good. That is good. When you do dumb things to raise money for causes, it's the most. We love doing it. It is our brand. It's maybe the thing we do the most.
It is.
Kind of makes me sad that I don't live in a rude named town.
No, well, there's a lot in the United States. We always get people sending in rude named places.
Yeah.
So I believe there's a fuck, like New Mexico or
There's
something.
definitely a dildo.
Yeah.
We get that one a lot.
Hell.
Yeah, there's a hell. There's a lot. There's Pillow. That's a famous one, Pillow.
Well, yeah. When we get East Banana Land up and running, we'll also maybe we'll just get like a Sprinter van and just drive to all the dirty named ones too, and then send postcards back to Banana Land.
I love it.
We'll get our postal worker really recognizing us as a micronation.
I love that. All right, Scotty, give us another one.
That's a great story.
That was a great one.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah. Kristen, I did do this one because of something. I'm paraphrasing and correct me, but I think about 12 years ago, maybe longer, you told me when you were in college, you tried to get into an acting class with the best voice professor, and she heard your voice and said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
She thought you had a bad voice.
Yeah.
What?
And how many TV shows and movies, animated, do you think you've done? Ballpark.
How many
as a
episodes?
voice actor.
How many episodes?
Total, yeah.
Oh, episodes, because like Bob's Burgers alone is what, 20
Gravity Falls,
a year,
right.
so that's 300 of just Bob's Burgers, right?
200.
200 of just Bob's Burgers.
Pick
How many
Toy Story
Gravity
3. We're going to say, let's say...
Very excited.
I think like 500 hours. I think like 500
I've done
hours.
I've had a blessed career.
Yeah, 500 hours.
As a voice actor.
Yeah.
After being told by a professor.
She just didn't think it was good enough for theater because of my lisp and stuff. Because that college training program was you could do Shakespeare, you could be versatile, and it was definitely not.
It hurt your feelings.
Oh yeah, when you're 19, 20 years old and you get told that your dream isn't going, you don't have the tools to do it, and you won't be able to get them with what you have to work with. It is devastating.
Yeah.
Because she worked with Sigourney Weaver.
Oh.
And so that was what we were trying to achieve.
Well, perfect Perfect segue, not having the tools, and then look at you go. I mean, you dunked on her a million times.
She was wrong. I think
she was wrong.
I think college, that training program in general was, not to total, I mean, Billy Eichner was also in my class.
Yeah.
They did a good job, but I think sometimes the best things you can learn in a theater program in college is your peers, and connection and to go through the rest of the journey with, but which you don't really have to pay for. You can skip college probably.
Yeah, if you really want to be a performer, I agree completely.
Anyways,
I remember you telling me that really over 10 years ago, and it was just like it always blew my mind that somebody said that to you, and then they couldn't have been more wrong. This one was sent in by Jacob Kaye or Callie, written by Melissa Locker. I mean, she's really good.
Maybe even the best in the biz.
Nice, the catchphrase.
Best in the biz. Girl born without hands wins national handwriting competition because nothing can stop her.
Oh, come on. Chills.
Yes.
Chills. Goosebumps.
Yeah, so I got this on CNN.com. I believe parents and educators have been worrying about the, quote, dying art, end quote, of handwriting for years, as smartphones and laptops have led to some classrooms spending less and less time on teaching the fine art of writing in cursive. Sarah, I believe it's Heinesley. We're going to go with Heinesley, a third grader from Frederick, Maryland, though finds cursive, quote, kind of easy, using her cursive skills to win the national handwriting competition. It's an impressive feat for anyone, especially a 10-year-old who was born without hands.
Wow.
I really hope it's Heinesley. Heinesley, I'm going with Heinesley, who writes by holding the pencil between the ends of her arms, was trained in the fine art of penmanship by a teacher, and quickly learned to love writing. Quote, she can do just about anything, oftentimes better than me or even my husband, her mother, Catherine, said. Heinesley entered the 2019 Zahner Blosser National Handwriting Competition, and the judges were so impressed with her perfect penmanship, she won the Nicholas Maxim Award. The award comes with a trophy and $500 in prize money, as well as $500 in educational materials for her school. So she also did well for her school.
Yeah.
Heinesley reportedly hasn't decided what she wants to spend her $500 in prize money on, but she does hope to inspire other children, quote, who have challenges, end quote, reminding them that in their experience, quote, if you try your hardest, you can do it, end quote.
Oh. Banana of the week.
That's beautiful.
Banana of the week.
Pretty crazy,
awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
And good for her.
Good for Sarah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Not only just learning cursive, but now you can draw, there's so many ways to express yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you get told no or think you can't, I think you work even harder to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really ambition, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not really talent as much as ambition, but it sounds like Sarah has talent too.
I think she has both, and so do you. I mean, the whole thing is...
you need a combination of both.
I think you do, but I think you really need more ambition than talent.
Yeah, possibly, because I do know...
So
I know
many
many talented people.
Yeah.
And then it's just,
So many people with hands.
Yeah. Exactly, 100%.
That just refused.
Exactly.
Sorry. I don't know. That's the best.
Yeah, no, but it's really true. And as soon as I saw the story, it's incredible. It's just, that's exactly it. You're going to have people that say, no, no, no. And then inside you have to go, but yes.
It's
I
true.
can.
If you can't make the voice inside be quiet, then you just have to listen.
Yes. That's really it.
All right. You want to hear?
Is so pretty. Yeah.
Do you want to hear the last one?
Congrats, Sarah.
Let's keep going.
It's almost over.
Yeah.
Well, it is and it isn't, because we had huge gaps in there. We can definitely do another story.
Yeah. Here it is.
Oh, good.
This one is right up your alley.
Are you having
Kristen.
fun, Kristen?
Of course I'm having fun. I'm hanging out with my friends, talking about lovely events around the world.
Yeah.
This one was sent in by Bethany Baldy on Instagram. Thank you,
Great name.
Bethany. This is on visitathensga.com. And the title is The Tree That Owns Itself. Kristen, this is right for you.
It's not a giving, it's giving to itself. This giving.
Self-love.
One of Athens' most beloved residents and roadside wonders is the tree that owns itself. This stately white oak resides at the corner of Deering and Finley Streets at the edge of downtown Athens. It is an unusual property owner as it pays no taxes, which
sounds like a church.
Got him.
It is a weird. Then and Bethany, who sent this in, is like remarked on the fact that like what a weird choice from the writer to just be like, this tree doesn't pay taxes. Of all the things that is weird about a tree owning property, that's probably the least weird. Okay, history of the tree. According to a legend first printed in the local newspaper on August 12th, 1890, Colonel William H. Jackson's will deeded the tree possession of itself and all the land within 8 feet of its trunk. Is this deed legally binding? We're not sure, as no one ever contested the tree's property rights. Today's tree is actually a junior. The original giant oak, estimated around 400 years old, fell over during a windstorm on October 9th, 1942. Not wanting the tradition to die, members of the Junior Ladies Garden Club of Athens were determined to replace the tree. Garden Club members gathered acorns from the site and lovingly began growing a second-generation white oak to replace Colonel Jackson's beloved tree. In just 4 short years, on December 4th, 1946, Junior Ladies members planted the sapling that stands tall today as the tree that owns itself. And they still take care of it. It's a tree. It's literally just in the looks like a median because it owns that land. And it's growing.
Hey, Bananimals, if you live in Athens, Georgia, go drive and take a picture in front of that tree with us. We want to see the tree that owns itself. Give it a hug.
Give it a hug.
Give it a low 5.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm so baffled.
What?
By the fact that the tree owns itself.
Yeah. I think it's just like not a goof, but it's like
symbolic.
It's like they just made that he just loved the tree so much he never wanted it to be cut down.
Right. Okay. I see.
Yeah. So it doesn't. No one, I guess, owns it.
No one can own it.
Yeah.
But no one can cut it down either.
But also, Kristen, isn't all ownership a crime?
Oh, probably. I think in general it leads to more sadness than anything else.
Yes.
I mean.
Yeah.
Related to that a little bit is when I was living in Vancouver, it is a total crime to cut down any tree no matter where you are.
Really?
Even if it's on your property, you cannot cut down a tree.
Wow.
And so there was this big to-do because a very wealthy woman from a long time ago, maybe the 20th century though, but earlier on, cut down a tree that was blocking her, ocean view.
Outrageous.
Wow. And she got fined.
Good.
And people are still talking about it.
Really?
And we were shooting the Benedict Society in Vancouver, and we shot a lot in the mansion, which was a college property. And there's gorgeous lawn and gorgeous trees, and behind the trees is the most beautiful, spectacular view of oceans and islands and Rocky Mountains coming up. But you'll never see it unless you go onto the roof because it's illegal to cut down those trees. I don't know how I feel about it. I was like, I would maybe go to jail and cut down a few trees to look at the ocean.
Yeah.
This is the American in me, or the landlocked Colorado girl that when she finally saw the ocean was like, this is incredible.
Yeah. Well, you can plant more trees, but you can't make more ocean. I mean, come on, guys. Everybody knows. Yeah. Sure, it covers 70+% of the world. And yes, we live a short 45-minute drive at all times.
If you're going to cancel Kristen Schaal for anything, here's your chance, folks.
God,
she's willing to cut down the trees for a view.
Podcast. I knew it would happen.
I do have a goal in life to own a house that has a tree within it. I always like whenever you see those like photos and architectural whatever, and there's like a tree.
House.
That is so great.
When there's a tree that grows in your house, I'd be so happy.
What about like termites though, or like if
it's a possibility.
Then you just deal with it.
Yeah,
termites come
so
from
gorgeous.
Trees.
I'll protect it.
They just
dirt,
like to eat wood.
Yeah, but every house is made of wood.
Yes, you're right. There's no risk with a tree in your house.
No.
Would you that bar Clifford's? Is it Clifford's? We used
Clifton's?
To go Clifton's.
Yeah, Clifton's.
I don't think they're real trees, but they put like those fake sculpted trees.
Yeah,
inside,
that place
and it
is
makes
cool.
Me happy.
Clifton's downtown LA has like a 4-story bar with a weird tiki bar on the top, but then their coolest bar is the second one up, and there's giant fake trees in it. Yeah. It's basically like being in a giant nature preserve, but then it's a huge cocktail bar with big sofas and chairs everywhere. It's awesome.
And Cliff's Edge, another cliff-based tree place. Yes. That was that outside had a lot of trees in it. Yeah. Now no longer exists.
Nope.
Wait, what?
Well, now it's Barbacari. So you're getting an LA tour.
Yeah. This is the thing, ladies and gentlemen. There's been a pandemic, and I'm bitter about it.
Yeah.
I realized today I'm bitter about it because I've been keeping my little child safe.
You have to do that these days.
Haven't been showing her the world or hanging out with grandparents really, and it's a year, over a year of her life is gone.
Yeah,
you got it.
She's 3.5.
She's driving.
Yeah, she's done. So
I told her. I said it was early. I said it was early to get her a car, but she's got a car.
It's a Tesla.
Olive wants a car.
Yeah. But anyways, I was just thinking, being mad in all these venues, where we do our hot tub show is up in the air.
Yep.
But that being said, when they say that we're losing this and that in the other place, doesn't that just mean another rich person is just buying it and renaming it, and it'll keep the same guy?
There'll be the grand reopening will happen,
mark, right? Yeah. But it won't change from bar to.
It might.
Bookstore, which we need more bookstores.
Well, that was
that was the wrong word. People are always doing. Everybody's always buying up land and making those bookstores.
I know.
Oh, the overhead is too good on this alcohol sales.
What a bookstore.
Less drinking, more reading. That's what all the billionaires say.
What takes up a lot of space and makes no profit whatsoever? Hardback books.
Kristen,
Thanks,
thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Of course, though. Yeah, I did your first one ever.
Yes,
and now I'm doing your last one. No, it was a pleasure, and I really love you guys.
Love you too.
Anything you want to plug? Everyone should watch the Mysterious Benedict Society.
Yeah, watch it. Binge it up. And
that's on Disney
Plus.
And you can also watch What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, What We Do in the Shadows season 3 is now premiering and dropping as we speak.
And you can watch that either on FX or FX on Hulu.
The next day.
Both great.
The most confusing way to run Hulu is to have then multiple channels inside Hulu that you have to then
got
find.
that right.
A lot of backroom deals, okay? When these shows are getting bought and sold.
Yep.
And Bob's Burgers,
yes,
too, which is going to premiere in a few weeks.
Great.
Ooh, that's exciting.
And
that's
also
right.
on Hulu later.
Folks, Kristen Schaal, 3 television shows going at once. That's a new record. It's usually only 2.
One thing that embarrasses me is talking about my career.
Yeah, there we go. We can end with that. Thank you so much, Kristen. We love you.
I love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bananas.
Crazy story you never heard from all the way around the world. If you're skeptical, then maybe check the facts, but you better believe that it ain't fake news. If you're skeptical, then maybe check the facts. Nothing stranger than the truth. Driving me bananas, baby, bananas, bananas, driving me bananas, baby, bananas, bananas, driving me bananas, baby, bananas, bananas, driving me bananas, baby, bananas, bananas. If I said something that put your world on its head, would you believe me? If I did throw your mind to a zillion pieces, would you believe me? If you're skeptical, then maybe check the facts, but you better believe that it ain't fake news. If you're skeptical, then maybe check the facts. Nothing's